Good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folare. It's no news now, the APC Ondo primary elections have come and gone. Results have been announced and indeed the candidates have congratulated each other. Well, at least some of them, the front runners, specifically talking about Dr. Segun Abraham, who came second. He actually congratulated the winner of the election, Rotimi Akeredolu, SAN, who beat him with the figure of 669 votes to his 635 votes. So that was fine on the day, but then subsequently, it would appear that the center is not holding anymore. Reportedly, the elections petition organ of the APC has received a whole flood of petitions alleging a scandal. Among other things, they're alleging that delegates list was tampered with, fake delegates were inserted, disenfranchisement of rightful delegates occurred, and indeed, among other things, illegal ballot papers were smuggled into the ballot boxes. So the story seems to have turned sour. And if you want to know what happened in Ondo, I guess it's going to depend largely on who you are talking to, because there were so many different, interests. After all, it was a contest. So what we decided to do was to, if you remember, when we looked at the run-up to the Ondo APC primary election, we had Barrister Tolu Babaleye with us. He's a chieftain in Ondo APC. So we called him back and say, why don't you come back on and give us your perspective of what you think happened in Ondo, because it seemed that it was going very well. Congratulations all over the place, and now suddenly brows are furrowed. People are not as happy and jubilant as they were to start off with. And by the way, they always say 24 hours is a heck of a long time in politics. The last time you were here, if I understood it, your man, so to speak, was Mr. OK. Yes. There's a sense in which your principal within the party, Bola Ilori, I didn't quite get the impression that where he was then was where he was the night before the election and then going into the election. And so this is quite confusing to those of us that are, quite frankly, outsiders. Maybe you can sort of sort that out. But before we go, we got a couple of clips that sort of will set the tone for what appears to be the status now within, or the thinking within, particular factions, let's call them that, of the Ondo APC primaries. I think we have Bola Ilori first.
You saw beautifully well laid out drama at the dome, at the venue, because there was no way rigging could have been done inside that place. But what people fail to see is the actual rigging happened outside. And once it's delivered outside, that's end of story. You just go in and vote. So people were just taking tags and just walking in to vote. That was what happened. And how did they achieve it? The delegate list was so mutilated. In my own local government, for example, Ondo West, over 51% of the delegates there, the real delegates on the list, disappeared. New people that was not known to the party just emerged. They became the list. And don't forget that the National Secretariat of the party had issued delegate list on Wednesday to all the aspirants. The aspirant woke up on the voting morning to discover that the delegate list being used for accreditation is different.
Well, there are more charges, as a matter of fact, more allegations. Let's listen to that as well.
I'm a member of APC, but I am not a delegate. Okay. Yes.
Who actually instructed you to vote for Akiti?
Those who brought the vehicle for us. I don't even know. I only recognize the woman who has the canteen where I ate at the Yemo Plaza. That was the woman who introduced us to that business. And she begged us that when we got there, we should vote for Akiti.
Some guys came in to me because I run the restaurant. So they came here and asked me, Madam, there is a business I want to bring for you. I said, what business could that be? I hope it involves money. They say, yeah, of course. And I said, if it's about money, no problem. So far, I'm not going to kill anybody and all that. I said, okay, they want me to come and vote. I said, vote. I said, I'm not the delegate. And I said, I should not worry that I should not. I said, please, I don't want trouble. And I said, I should not worry that I should come and vote and they will give me money. And I just opened my business and I need money to boost it up. I said, okay. So quickly I tried to finish what I was doing. Then I went with them. They parked the vehicle in front of in front of the plaza where I had my shop.
And if those were ordinary citizens, no doubt you might have read also in the press that another major, contender in the contest that's over now, Alhaji Jamiu Afolabi Ekungba, he had put out there, actually calling his fellow Ondo State indigenes unprintable names, saying that he had spent 300 million naira and all he got for his efforts was a mere 45 votes. He was very, very disenchanted, maybe even angry. And he had, you read the story, that he was through with his own Ondo people. So feelings were running very, very, very high. Now, back to studio where we have Tolu Babaleye, legal practitioner and chieftain in APC Ondo. Give me your impression. You've heard what people have said. Is that an overstatement? Or what? Give me your impression. What happened?
Well, thank you very much for this forum. Honestly speaking, I was thinking that the primary that was conducted in Ondo State was free, fair, and credible.
Because you were there?
Because I was in the polling center.
Yeah.
I was inside the polling center, and everything that was done there were transparent. To even a blind man can feel the transparency. But unfortunately, that was not where the story of rigging was actually, concocted. The rigging took place outside the voting venue from all this evidence that are coming out now. And I want to say this from the word go, that people should not only look at the winner of the election as the only person that was involved in this thing, because all these videos are showing that the winner of the election must have done this or that. Even the winner of the election himself has complained bitterly that people are trying to rig him out. I'm aware he wrote petition to the chairman of the committee a day before the election, complaining bitterly about the list. Shegun Abraham complained bitterly about the list. Olushola Oke complained bitterly about the list. Professor Senator Borofis also complained about the list. When you started the introductory part of this program, you said that the winner was congratulated. Yes, he was actually congratulated. I was in the hall. The hall was charged. Perhaps, maybe because people don't know what actually went wrong. But immediately after the congratulations, all this evidence started trickling in. They were almost immediately withdrawing the congratulations. It was only one from day one that says this result is not acceptable to me because of the fact that he actually got evidence, according to him, immediately after the result was declared, that election was not the true reflection of the wish of the people of Ondo State, but the reflection of the people who came to vote from nowhere. Let me make particular instance.
I wanted to get some clarification.
Okay.
We heard here that it wasn't unusual for delegates to be hidden away. All of this was supposed to be political security. You don't want your delegates tampered with, so people were protecting their delegates and all of that. We said it here that
yes,
it's not unusual in our kind of politics.
Yes.
You were there. You said, as far as you were concerned, it couldn't have been more transparent. Now, all these allegations come up. You're a lawyer yourself, so when I use the word allegations,
yes,
you know the weight of it. You are almost presenting allegations as if they were facts.
I've not said so.
Okay.
What I'm saying that when they now discover all this evidence that led to all these allegations that are coming out now, they started withdrawing their congratulatory messages.
Okay.
For example, Abraham.
Okay.
Congratulated Aketi, even though his agents refused to sign.
Aketi being Rotimi Akeredolu.
Is the agent of Abraham stormed outside the hall, but the next day, I heard that Abraham congratulated Rotimi Akeredolu, only for Abraham to take a 360-degree U-turn yesterday to say he's no longer accepting the result of the election based on the facts that are now available to him. And as I talk to you now, I also heard it from very reliable information that other prominent aspirants are withdrawing their congratulatory messages. And if you also look at the people that congratulated, like Honorable Adekanye Olabintan, he made very, serious ovation to Akeredolu that he was going to work with him with all he has.
A statesman-like speech.
Yes. But when you read the statement deep down, you will see that it's filled with a lot of innuendos. He was not also happy because he alleged that delegates were bought over with money, that they were heavily compromised with money.
Wait a minute. Yes. As we all know, money, unfortunately, is a main factor in politics locally, maybe anywhere in the world, but particularly in Nigeria. I mean, the gentleman, Alhaji Ekungba, a lot of people, well, it might be chicken change to some people, but 300 million naira is not beans, as we say. But he said he blew that on the election and got only 45 votes for his troubles. Now, it's not, you've read the speculation in the papers. Quite frankly, all sorts of speculation. One minister or the other was involved financially in all of this. Yes, I think Fayemi was mentioned to the tune of how 700 million. Who has 700 million? But forget I said that. Fashola was also mentioned.
Yes.
El Rufai was also mentioned. So yes. All these speculations going on, how seriously are they being taken? Since anybody can write anything on social media, but these are the figures that were. Do you think APC is going to put credence on those spectacular figures that we are hearing?
Well, there's an appeal panel that will be sitting right about now on this appeal. They will be in the best position to examine all these issues.
So, and until then, they are no more than
until
allegations.
Then, they are just
in fact, speculations. Maybe
don't
maybe
forget
speculations.
That, yes, don't forget that the principle in law is he who alleges must prove. If they can prove it, well, I will see where it will lead us to. But unfortunately, let me give you my own personal view on this. The election seemed to be transparent on the surface. Because but when you now look at what happened, we raised a lot of issues at the venue of the election. Let me just give you some instances. For example, accreditation were not done in the venue of the election. We have a dome that can seat 4,000 people. All the delegates of APC are not up to 3,000. So we don't know why they now have to decentralize accreditation. You now use a different vehicle to convey delegates from place of accreditation to voting center. In between, we now heard that they were shocking. Vehicles were coming in. If you listen to the woman that just spoke now, because I listened to the one they actually put on social media, where the woman said that they were giving tag ahead of time. When they got to the venue of the voting, they sat inside the vehicle, that they were 17 inside that vehicle. And the person who took them there now said, you guys should just wait for us. After they did security clearing, a policewoman was driving past their own vehicle and just dropped the tag for them. All of them now put on tag, they went inside and vote. You see why? That's the allegation. That is one of the allegations.
Not that you saw this yourself.
I didn't see it. I was not there. I didn't see it. But when you look at this thing, it is creating doubt in our mind to actually believe that those allegations might be true because of this that I want to say. For example, when the delegates now walks into the voting center to vote, at the end of the day, they will collect the tag from them. What I know in the history of party politics in Nigeria is that the tax are supposed to come with the names of the delegates.
But that didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
Okay,
it was just a mere tag.
You tell me more about this.
As soon as they vote, they will collect it.
I really have to go on a quick break now, but I'm going to come right back and you'll continue from where you left off. Stay with us, please. Okay, welcome back. We're looking at the aftermath, shall we say, of the Ondo gubernatorial primaries of APC. It seemed to have gone well, backslapping, congratulations, statesman-like speeches, and then the bottom fell out. And we hear that there are now petitions galore. Worse still, all sorts of there seems to be a lot of acrimony, allegations, counter-allegations, denials. One paper had it on Sunday, I believe, that Tinubu's candidate defeated, that kind of a thing. So none of this is really making for harmony within APC. Yes. It must be said. Now, Akeredolu, who won, Mr. Akeredolu, who actually won, he's alleged to have said some things that could not be furthering the cause of harmony, but he quickly said that, look, I don't know where all of that came from. I never said anything like that. It's almost as if there's a splinter, at least within Ondo APC. What would you say to that statement?
Well,
that thing is a bit scattered now.
The problem we have, during the build-up to the election, there were tensions, agitations, and fear.
Which is not unusual.
It's not unusual. It's natural in party democracy, where they want to have a primary election. And the tension was caused by the fact that it was alleged that Asiwaju Bola Tinubu had a preferred candidate in Segun Abraham. And everybody who was close to Bola Tinubu expected that they would be adopted. For example, Aketi thought that since he was the candidate in 2012, it is natural for him to be made the candidate in 2016. But maybe people were not feeling that way. He made those statements in out of annoyance.
But he actually, but he himself came out and said that he never made those statements.
He did not mention
even though he was reported to have been heard on radio saying some unsavory things.
On Adaba FM.
On Adaba FM.
It was, I mean, he granted an interview. They were all on social media. You can see, I mean, stream Adaba FM and listen to the interview and form your opinion about it. Then we also read it in newspaper when he said that Tinubu will be shocked by the outcome of the election. That was Punch newspaper of Friday last week.
Which he has subsequently denied.
He denied, yes. But what we read was that. So, but those are not even the issue here. The issue here now is the election, the primary election. Before the interlude the other time, I was trying to make some points that are trying to create doubt in the mind of an average Ondo State citizen, whether those things are true or not. I was, analyzing the process of accreditation. Before this election, there were agitations that led to meetings in Abuja. Aspirants were met at the party secretariat by the national press chairman of the party, where they were all promised that lists that will be used will be given to them. They were later summoned to the villa, a meeting that was presided over by Babashai Lawal, the secretary to the federal government. And through the national organizing secretary of the party, list of delegates were handed over to them. And it was agreed at that meeting that 2014 delegate list, as it were, will be used. And the meaning is that those that voted during the 2015 House of Assembly, House of Rep and Senatorial election as delegates will be the people that will vote in this election. Midnight eve of the election, the chairman of the electoral committee, His Excellency Abubakar Badaru, came from Jigawa State with a different list entirely. The list was mutilated.
When you say he came with a different list,
yes.
Was it known at the time that it was a different list from that which you say had been agreed with the secretary to the government?
He came with a list and gave it to Dr. Tunji Abayomi to photocopy, because Tunji Abayomi is the don of all the aspirants. He gave the copies to them. So in our situation room, we had the opportunity of comparing the list. And as I talk to you, we spotted 431 ejection into that list that are completely different.
Fake delegates insertions. Were they no. The two charges were made. One, fake delegates were inserted. Two, that there was delegate list tampering.
Let me tell you what happened. The number of delegates that will vote were not up to 3,000. They make sure that list did not offshoot the number. They only removed names of people. For example, how can you change the name of a ward chairman who has been ward chairman of a party since 2014? On getting to polling booth, he discovered that it's not the ward chairman. Is there any ward chairman coming from heaven? And the man is not dead. If you see what happened, I am telling you.
Where do you think all these, all of this was coming from? Who do you think was responsible? Because you've just said that everybody, almost, was complaining.
Yes.
Even the winner, Akeredolu, was complaining. So where was this coming from?
So the problem is that there is allegation and counter-allegation. All of them are complaining, which means they are all faulting the process, which means something is wrong with the process. And I do not expect anybody to benefit from a fraudulent process. That is the way I look at it. Otherwise, people will not take APC serious.
Is your group actually saying then that this ought to be cancelled?
Well, I don't know what you mean by my group, because since the day we finished the primary election,
everybody has become
I detached
APC
myself.
Again. Okay.
That is the way I run my own politics, because I'm a party person.
But you were
and
supporting...
I'm chairman of I am within the party now. I am chairman and convener of Movement Against Imposition. When we are talking of Movement Against Imposition, we are saying nobody should be imposed. That is what we are saying. Then imposition by way of manipulated list is also is more dangerous than when you say a leader somewhere impose a candidate. That's what we are saying. Now hold on, sir, please. Let me just give me time to analyze these things.
Okay.
Now, immediately they got the list, they wrote all of them. I know that Akiti wrote petition to the chairman. Olusola wrote petition to the chairman. Senator Borofis wrote petition to the chairman of the committee, saying that this is not the list they agreed on. But of particular importance is that of Ondo West and Ondo East, where the two chairmen of the local government wrote to the committee chairman that no, this is not our list. How can you remove our ward chairman? How can you remove ward secretary? How can you remove a whole senatorial woman leader and prevented her from voting? Somebody who has been galvanizing the party, a different name entirely, came and they were not allowed to vote. So when the place was fortified with security, something is fishing. I'm very sure that this rigging has root in somebody that is very, very influential in Nigeria, because the way the whole thing was perfected. For example, the governor that came to provide the election, we're not so happy with him, because he turned the whole thing into, this process as if he came for a state visit to Ondo State. He came to Ondo State and went to government house. He went to government house and he knows that we are in opposition in Ondo State. He sat down with Mimiko on one-on-one. I'm very sure they must have cross-checked the list and make sure that popular candidates did not emerge, because they know that people of Ondo State no longer want PDP in power. So, and the PDP people are so afraid of the primary election. They were just praying that they were praying all along that good candidates should not emerge. And all this thing that is happening now, I'm very sure they will be happy. They believe that our party will not survive it, but I know they are lying.
The petition, the APC petition, what is it, committee or tribunal for election?
Appeal committee.
The appeal committee. It really seems to have its work cut out for it, because nobody, even the winner, you're saying was petitioning all over the place. But when you have a thing like this, a situation like this, a winner has emerged. Never mind that, and has been congratulated. Yes. Afterwards, there was, a rethink. All eyes would seem to be looking towards who was the beneficiary of this
fraud.
Well, confused state of affairs, it all is. Of course, everybody knows the winner. You can't take him out of the picture. Are you alleging? You are saying that as far as you're concerned, you think very powerful people in this country have been, involved in all of this. None of this is looking very, very good, because the implications of what you are saying is that there are all sorts of fifth columnists working, and you've insinuated now that there might be some working cooperation with the PDP. Very, very unsavory and very, very un-APC-like, perhaps, I might say. So what is going on? Why is it a desperation in Ondo State?
There's no desperation, but people want to elect their governor. That's the problem with Ondo State. People want to elect their governor.
But
you know why I am saying that there's connivance with the PDP?
Yeah.
Because the governor, that I know there's a governor, protocol demands that you just go, greet him and come back. But not to be hobnobbing. To unholy hour.
Well, he pays a visit. He pays a visit to the sitting governor.
Yes, excuse me. He met with the sitting governor.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But he can come another day for a state visit. He has come for an assignment for APC, and he should affect that assignment. Excuse me.
Let me quickly bring in somebody who, Dele is on the line. Okay. Good morning, Dele.
Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Thank you for calling in. Quickly, please.
Dele calling from Kitu. I'm from Ondo State, actually.
Very good.
You see, what is really happening, I believe we want to let them explain to us who kept the list, who manipulated the list. And the people that were arranged to speak, those people that spoke, I thought all those things are a kind of gang up. People should, I think what was happening in those states, I'm not new to Ondo State. During the 1983 election, I was in Ondo State. I know actually what is happening. People should tell us who manipulated the list. Who are those people that held the list before the election? And when the list was brought to the Ondo State, according to the lawyer that was speaking there, he said the man that conducted the election went to the government house. That doesn't indicate anything. I think that it's a governor to governor. They can visit themselves. But the issue is that people should be allowed to choose who they want. And I don't want a situation where somebody said one candidate is not good, one candidate is credible, or somebody is one national leader is supporting each candidate. What is happening now? I know the appeal committee. Let us allow the appeal committee to do their job.
All right, then.
The result that came out.
Okay, Dele. Thank you very much for calling in. I'll go to a quick break now. Don't go anywhere, please. We'll be right back. And we'll continue to take your calls. Okay, welcome back. We're looking at the aftermath of the Ondo APC primaries, and there have been allegations since what we thought was a transparent election that a scandal has emerged, alleged, tampering of delegates list, fake delegates insertion, disenfranchising of rightful delegates, smuggling of illegal ballot papers into boxes, and so on and so forth. A lot depends, no doubt, on who you ask about what happened and what's going on in the state of politics in Ondo State. But I think one thing is clear, all is not well with it. But as I said, a lot will probably depend on who you ask. Petitions have now gone to the election petition committee of APC itself. They have their work cut out for them, seeing as just about everybody, including the winner, is reported to have lodged a complaint with them at one time or the other. We have with us Barrister Tolu Babaleye because we had invited him before going into the primaries, and he had analyzed it for us. And so we asked him back. Say, look, now that you've come, you went, you saw, and the deed was done, what do you now think? But as I said, I emphasize, no doubt a lot will depend on who you happen to be asking about what went on in Ondo APC primaries. Barrister Tolu, you were going to talk about the significance of Ondo West and East before we went to break. What is the significance of Ondo West and East?
Thank you. I was trying to make a point on the list that was brought that morning for the election. The list that was given to the candidates, to the aspirants at Abuja was a complete variance, at variance with the one that the chairman brought to Ondo State. And when the people of Ondo West and Ondo East, led by the party chairman of the two local governments, saw the list, they quickly wrote petition to the chairman of the electoral committee. In Ondo West, in Ondo East, about 87 names were removed from that list. In Ondo West,
you discovered this after the fact, after the elections have been concluded?
No, they discovered before the election.
I see.
But very late, during accreditation. When they got there and your name is not there, you'll be wondering. Because aspirants have been lobbying the delegates. They even camped some of them, only to discover that the person they camped was not even on the list of the people to vote. So they got to know that money. And that very money, all the aspirants, majority of them, wrote petition condemning the list. But the chairman was just assuring them that in that of Ondo West and Ondo East, the chairman gave a specific answer to them that they should not worry. When he discovered that the alteration was too much, he said by the time they want to vote, it will be a different ball game. But until after the election, chairman never made reference to that. So they now brought people with different tag, people who are not members of Ondo State. They brought Okada riders.
Allegedly.
Yes.
Allegedly.
Yes.
Okay.
Brought fufu sellers. Brought palm wine sellers.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Okay. Brought underage.
Okay. Oh.
Underage.
Allegedly.
I was there. I saw that of underage.
Okay. I understand we have someone on the line waiting to come in. Good morning, David. Thank you for holding on. David, good morning. Go ahead, please.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Thank you for calling in, David.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Yori.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah. There is two things I want to find out. The first is how the delegate list was changed. Secondly is this. Did all the aspirants, didn't they have the delegates list, their names on the delegate list? No, because if we're talking about, that the major rigging was done outside the primary center where the primary took place. Now, the agent of each aspirant, didn't they have the delegate list, the names of those delegate lists in their hand?
Okay, Mr. David. So that's the situation. That's the question. Thank you very much for calling in. I thought he was really asking what is going to be the job of the petition.
No, he has a question.
Committee.
He has a question whether the aspirants have delegate list.
Yeah.
The delegate list that was given to the aspirants is different from the one that the chairman brought. That is the crux of the matter. And as soon as they discovered that, they wrote petition. Even including the winner. Because this issue we are talking about, we are not here to discredit the winner of this election, but to say the fact, to state them as they are. So all we are saying is that all of them complain about the process, that it is wrong.
But somebody still won.
Somebody won, but all of them complain that, and when the process is wrong, I don't think it's fair. But morally all right, and legally all right for anybody to benefit from it.
But as at the time the winner was declared, and he was being congratulated by the guy who was second to him, none of this had been discovered. It was after it was much later on that all of this now came to light. The allegations came to light.
Yes.
And that is now casting some sort of a shadow on it. What is the leadership, being of the APC yourself, and you know, no small fry within Ondo APC, what's the signal you're getting from the leadership of APC in terms of their impression of what's going on and all the rumors that have been flying around, people external to Ekiti in the federal, high-ranking ministers allegedly involved in all of this? Are they treating all of that as speculation, or does it carry any weight at all?
Honestly speaking, the situation is not normal. People are not happy. There's crisis now. You know, the last time during the election, I told you there was no crisis, that there was just minor disagreement. This time around,
it has escalated.
It has escalated. And to stop people from going away from the party. So, because none of them is now talking about going away from the party. But we must avoid situation that will make somebody who cannot get justice from going away.
Okay, let me take Blessing. Blessing is calling in from Opebi. Good morning, Blessing.
Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Thank you for calling in, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Please, I want to ask a question. In order not to cause any confusion or to ask who removed the names, who did this, can they cancel it and redo another election? They should just cancel it for peace to reign.
Madam Blessing, aren't we even treating all of this as an allegation pending when the APC body set up to examine, investigate those kind of things will come out with a statement?
Allegation. And the thing will now go out of very, very careful and that Jesus is tired of it. That is so now they should do it. They should not form another crisis the way PDP is going about it. Please, they should just allow the sleeping dogs to lie. This one has come and he has got to stop cancel it and redo another election. There's room for postpone the election. The heaven will not fall down so that peace will reign. And this time around, they should make it open for everybody to see.
Okay. Okay, sure. Thank you very much for calling in, Madam Blessing. But interestingly, on that last point that she made, you were here last time, and you said here that you were at the primary process. You were actually in a polling station, and as far as you were concerned, it was transparent. It couldn't have been more transparent
than what we make at
the
polling station.
Yes. Now, my concern here is that from my position, from our perspective, the perspective of the program this morning, this is an allegation so far until we hear from the properly constituted investigative body. I mean, totally different, but you heard the price of fuel is about to be increased. Government should not try it. Government has come out and said there's no such thing as that. I don't know where that came from. Now hear this. There is absolutely no intention to increase the price of fuel. Now, what if the investigative body comes up and says none of this has any basis at all? I don't know. Well, because these are allegations, no more than allegations at the moment.
I understand. That will still be justice. The most important thing is for grievances to be ventilated. The moment you ventilate your grievances, you come with your evidence, another party comes with evidence, the two are just opposed, and the panel comes with a decision. That is only what people are asking for. But in this circumstance, I will urge President Buhari to stay by what he told the aspirants.
Yes.
He said whoever is discovered to have manipulated the system in his own favor will be disqualified. Even if he wins the ticket will be collected. I'm not saying this because of Rotimi Akeredolu. I'm just saying that the president should investigate where this thing came from.
But the president also said there was a level playing field. That there was no party candidate.
He promised a level playing field.
Yes.
But he is just on top of that tree. He doesn't know what is happening.
Okay.
Excuse me, please. I want to make a statement. Very important.
Okay, go ahead.
The people that
hold on, I'll be right with you, caller.
The people that were interviewed this morning, the woman and the man,
well, actually, that wasn't this morning. That wasn't this morning.
Excuse me, okay, I don't know. I'm just watching it now.
Yes.
They should be arrested. They should be properly investigated. You understand? To really find out whether this thing was actually true or not. And there were clips. I believe that in the venue of the primary, there will be camera. They should look at all these things.
No doubt.
And sir, the problem is they refuse to allow delegates to even stay after the voting. That is very wrong.
Okay. Abel is calling in from Niger Delta. Good morning. From Delta State. I beg your pardon. Good morning.
Uncle, you take almost my 2 minutes.
I'm so sorry, but this is a very important, you understand. I wanted him to land. Please go ahead now, sir.
I think we are fighting corruption. Presently. Why the APC that is fighting corruption, they are the most corrupt people? Hello?
I'm listening.
We said we are fighting for corruption. There are people that are fighting corruption. The party, they are all corrupt. What are the corruption that we are fighting for? Your party brings different candidates, aspirants to come and vote. And you see them there. Like what the man said, that before they get in, even if it's not there, a police lady drives to them and give them people whatever for them to go inside. There's no other police there, or there's no APC member there that can see them, that knows what they are doing. Let's stop these things we are fighting. You are accusing the APC governor, you are accusing the Momiko. What the man said, why did the governor of the APC man that came to the election, why did he come officially on his own particular day? Why must he go and be with Momiko or the governor, the PDP governor? PDP does not have anything to do with your APC. You should fight your own. I'm not a politician.
Okay, thank you very much for calling in, Abel.
Please, I was making a point.
Sure.
What I'm saying is that the people that granted this interview or to TVC should be
part of the investigation.
Should be part of the investigation. Then video clips should be used, because there are video clips in the dome.
Sure.
Dome is very big.
Sure.
And if it is possible.
But you were in that dome.
I was inside the dome. I was not outside.
Yes.
I was not outside.
Yes.
So all these things that we're talking about happen outside.
But you see,
oftentimes,
oftentimes people that are within a venue see much more than the camera itself can see sometimes. And you said you were there and it was transparent as far as you were concerned.
You know the problem.
Yeah.
Assuming that everybody was accredited.
Sure.
People will sit down, local government by local government. It will have been possible to know who is not part of the local government. But because before the way they did it, when they accredit even like 10, they will just load them inside the vehicle, match them to the venue. I complained to the chairman. If you watch the clip, I raised the issue that Mr. Chairman, you cannot start this election until we know the number of people that has been accredited. That is the proper thing to do. You don't go to an election without knowing the number of people that will vote. It will give room for manipulation. And I told him that day that this thing will give room for manipulation.
Okay.
Look at where we are now.
Gabriel, calling in from Bariga. Good morning, sir.
Hello, Mr. Yori. Good morning.
Thank you for calling in.
This is Gabriel from Bariga.
We're waiting for you, Gabriel.
Hello, this is Gabriel from Bariga.
Yeah, sure.
Mr. Yori, I just want to implore the other aspirants to forget about what has happened. Everybody knows that in Nigeria, ever since I was born, there has been rigging. And this has occurred. And nobody is supporting rigging. But it's just forget about what has happened so that peace can reign. Everybody knows that both APC and PDP, they are all involved in this rigging. These people, they are just fooling Nigerians. They don't have anything to offer until we have an independent candidate. That is when Nigeria can move forward.
All right, then. Thank you very much. Appreciate your call. He thinks we should just manage what we have and in the interest of peace.
In politics,
Madam Blessing said maybe they should just cancel this one and then do another one and let that one be glass transparent.
Well, that of Madam Blessing seemed to be more agreeable to the people back home, because when nearly all the aspirants are saying no.
But you don't know what the investigative panel is going to find.
We are not preempting them.
Yes.
People have presented their evidence. The panel should do a dispassionate investigation and come out.
Do you trust it to do that?
Oh, I'm not a member of the panel.
Yeah, but
you know
your structures.
We give them a benefit of doubt that they will do the needful. So now, sir,
okay.
What I'm trying to say is this: we have suffered enough in Ondo State in the hands of PDP government. The only way that can stop this thing is for the party to go to this election one united, happy family. If we go to this election divided, I'm afraid, and that is the game plan of Governor Mimiko, and that is why all these things are happening.
Well, what do you say to the guy who just called in saying that, look, don't blame PDP for your woes in there. It has nothing to do with it. What do you
He doesn't know the personality of Governor Mimiko. He's a very friendly governor to everybody. He has his legs in very many places. Before you know it, he will come and take over APC from us.
Okay.
So, and we are afraid about that.
Yakub, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Okay, thank you for calling in. Go ahead.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I listened to your guest this morning. I want to make a very good correction there, because you said something earlier that they brought Pepe Sela, the Okada rider, to replace the...
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I don't want to say allegedly. But the question is this, if you're I said something earlier that they should cancel all the elections. Similarly, I want to say something. How is it going to possible cancel that election? At the end of the day, you will conduct another election. You happen to be the winner of this one lost. Is it not? Are you telling me it's not going to let another president that it is actually winner of that election? You see, the solution is this: you present a candidate as a party, and then you say that of yours, it is other candidate. You can make the candidate to be popular. The reason is if actually individually go to that post for the benefit of that state, not individual benefit, because the money on the executive it is so much. If it is ordinarily like 18,000 naira by minimum wage in this country, it will still be the few person that go to that seat. But it is beyond 18,000 naira minimum wage. All of them that going there for this selfish interest. It is only few people. And then to get that few people, you should make that position unattractive. Thank you and God bless you.
Indeed, thank you very much for calling in. Most readers, especially on social media, no doubt, would have been maybe astounded when they were hearing figures like one minister allegedly, Fayemi allegedly provided 700 million. Where's that going to come from? Then the man himself, Alhaji Ekungwa, he himself was seen to be saying that 45 votes only was what I could get after having spent 300 million naira. Again, and this is the primaries, not even the election, primaries of a party. I don't know, Yakub was alluding to the point that so much has been, let us use the word, invested in this particular process. Is it pragmatic? Is it practicable that we junk all of this and start afresh? I don't know how they're going to find out.
Democracy is the most expensive system of government in the world. We must savor it, and get to the pure aspect of it. Even if you spend 3 billion on a fraudulent primary, you will see the reaction to that fraudulent primary during the general election.
Is that what you think this primary, are you actually going as far as calling this primary that name you just said?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm just painting a picture.
Okay.
Because what I saw in the hall
was okay.
Seemed to be transparent. But the process is leading to it are not transparent. And now those people are saying that only 2 people got genuine votes from the process. Only 2 people. That's what they are saying. When you look at the social media in Ondo State, they said Senator Boniface, people voted for him. He got genuine votes. Olusola got genuine votes. Now they are saying that Segun Abraham got the votes he got just because he was supported by Lagos. And that the winner, Rotimi got the vote he got because he was supported by Kaduna. Now it is Kaduna versus Lagos.
And we're talking about Ondo State.
And we are talking about Ondo State. So
let me take the last caller.
That is the problem.
Let me take the last caller today. What's the Mr. Johnson calling in from Surrey? Good morning, Mr. Johnson.
Hello.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning, Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
Yes, my contribution is this. Since this problem erupted, in the after the primary Nondo, I have gone on dry fasting, praying that God Almighty will make it possible so that this problem in the Ondo State APC will not be resolved until the 10th, the day of election. May God answer my prayer so that confusion will come amongst them.
Dry fast, you said? Well, thank you very much, Mr. Johnson.
You are just dreaming. The caller, I'm very sorry to use that word. The last caller is just dreaming. Because we will resolve all these things and win Ondo State. That is why.
Because that's the objective.
That is the objective.
And if there are those who are also saying that if great care is not taken, all of this might work in favor of another contestant in the race.
Well, the issue is this. You do not expect this kind of thing to happen. But when justice is done, justice does not mean that the ticket is taken away from the owner. Justice does not mean that the ticket is given to another person. Justice in this instance is that when proper investigation is conducted, all these issues are put in perspective.
So you can say what was true, if any,
yes,
and what was not true.
What was not true. And justice at that time will not only be done, it will be seen to have been done. That is the only thing that can bring peace in this instance. That's the way I look at it.
That's a fine place to leave it, as a matter of fact. Let me just leave it there and wait on. Quite frankly, we need to hear from the APC investigative committee that has been receiving all of these petitions and all of these complaints. No doubt everybody is going to be paying 100% attention to them. So I want to thank you very much for coming along. And as I said at the beginning, no doubt a lot will depend on who you ask about what his impressions are about what happened. And we appreciate, and we really appreciate your coming on, and we appreciate your objectivity. But because everybody had a different agenda, it will depend on who you happen to be asking. Thank you very, very much, Barrister Tolu Babaleye. Ondo chieftain, Ondo APC party chieftain and a legal practitioner. Okay, is your man, but you said that after the election, you've dissolved.
I'm for APC.
And you're for APC?
Yes.
And against imposition of candidates from anywhere?
Whether directly or through manipulation, I'm against it.
Thank you very much for calling in. We'll be back tomorrow with a fresh edition of the program. I'm Yori Folani. Bye-bye for now.